time when you were so snowed under at work and your line manager came to you and said, could you just, deep inside you wanted to say no, but much as you wanted to say it, out of your mouth popped the word yes. The problem is that no is seen as a negative word in the workplace, and most people, most of us, like to be liked, so we say yes. The trouble is, if we do and we don't follow through, then we won't be liked anyway. In order to say no effectively, you have to rationalise it in your own mind. If you don't have a valid reason for saying no, you won't mean it. So here are some ways to say no in a positive way. Firstly, be clear in your intentions. People actually have to hear the word no, not, oh, I'd like to, but. It helps if you have a written set of goals and strategies, as this will give you a reason to stick to your guns. For instance, thanks, but I already have an investment plan, so you don't need to send me a newsletter about stocks and shares. And when someone persists, repeat your position. So for example, as I already said, our company policy is only to donate to charities that help children. Be sure that you understand exactly what is being asked of you before you respond. Maybe the task is going to be a bit more time consuming than you thought, or perhaps it may not even take much effort at all. Stress the positive impact that saying no will have on other projects. Saying no means you can excel and be brilliant at just a few things rather than just being average at many. Don't try to do everything. If you're overstretched and you're juggling, and this is typical of FM, nothing will be done well. Stick to your strengths. Do what you're good at and delegate everything else to people who are better at it than you are. You have a right to say no. Remember, others may take you for granted and even lose respect for you if you don't. Be polite but firm in saying no. You'll only build false hopes with wishy-washy responses. Saying, I'll try to be there in response to an invitation is giving yourself an excuse to avoid a commitment. When a line manager or another superior asks you to perform a new task that they say is urgent, remind them that you're already working on other projects that they've identified as urgent, high priority. Ask for their help in deciding where the new task should fall on that list of priorities. Point out that you might be able to do everything, but probably not to the usual high standards that they're expecting. Some experts recommend that you keep your answer short. This way you can say no without feeling the need for a lengthy justification. For example, I'm sorry, I'm not available that night. On occasions, however, a longer answer with reasons for the no will reinforce your credibility at work. Let the situation decide. Provide suggestions or alternatives. For example, I can't do that task today, but how about next week? Or how about asking John instead? When in doubt, it's easier to say no now and change it to a yes later. I don't have the time now, but something might change tomorrow and I might have the time then to do it for you. Sometimes saying no is simply unavoidable. So here are some techniques that you can use to ensure that you're not forced to compromise. Tell the person you can agree to their request this time, but set some ground rules. How can the two of you plan it better for next time? Get the details. How many other people are working on the project? How long is it expected to take, and what's the deadline? That way you have an informed decision on whether to do it or not. Put a tough condition on your agreement. If it would only take an hour, I'd be able to help, but I can't give you more than that. So let's sum up. Here are the key stages when saying no. Rationalise to yourself why it's okay to say no. What's the worst that can happen? Don't blame others or the culture of your organisation. And only explain your reasons if you have to, for example, to your line manager or to a client. Offer practical solutions or suggestions. And remember, if you say yes immediately, people are relying on you and you might end up letting them down. If the first answer is no, and that changes, you'll be perceived as helpful rather than unreliable. So say no first, and you can always surprise and delight them further down the line.